Alright guys, welcome to a video with me. I just thought I'd hop on here and give you guys a recap video of what went on in the market yesterday and then also today, which is Thursday the 14th of December 2023. Yeah, the market has been absolutely face ripping, and I just had to hop on and say that this is the most insane pump I've seen since COVID. So yeah, I'm going to do a little recap of my thought process on what happened with all the data, market net flow, and gamma exposure, and I'll walk you through everything that I was thinking at the time that that data came out. So this is going to be very beneficial for the new guys who have no idea what I do in my trading journey. I'm going to explain some of the data sets that I use as far as market net flow and convergence and the gamma exposure tools. It's going to be a fun ride. So yeah, stick with me. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to smash the like button for me, please. And also subscribe to my channel if you have not. I do have a lot of videos going over these tools, and I'm trying to grow up the channel a little bit more to get the word out on this tool. It's an amazing tool. I've been using it for roughly 2 years or so, market net flow and GEX combined. Yeah, it's a great tool, so stick with me. You guys are going to have some fun as I go over these data points the past couple days, okay? So let's get into it. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over each post that I do, and I'm going to compare it to the chart over here on the S&P 500 SPY ETF. I'm going to be starting off with yesterday's open and then go through yesterday, all of yesterday, every post that I talk about, my thought process and everything, and I'll kind of explain it a little bit as we go into today, which was Friday. The tools did absolutely magnificent, and if you missed out on some of those things, that's okay. There's always opportunities in the market to get into some plays. So yeah, my goal is to kind of explain my thought process when I look at these data tools so you can later apply that when you guys view these tools yourself, okay? So this was yesterday. We started off the morning very, very hot in market net flow. As you can see, I can blow it up a little bit. But yesterday at 6:30, just a point of reference here for you guys, is the market opens at 6:30 a.m. for me, Pacific Standard Time. So in Eastern, it's a 3 hours ahead difference. So just be aware of that once you guys see these little time stamps here, okay? So immediately first off, my first post of the day, I say market net flow is already coming in hot, strong bullish. It makes sense because we were already dang near 465 on SPY. So what I mean by that is we gapped up overnight to 465, and the market, the flow data already started ripping very, very positive. But you guys will be able to see later on in these later posts how the market flow fluctuated and how price reacted to that, and I want to explain that as well. So yeah, right off the bat, you could see that the candle, we started off very, very hot. We gapped up slightly, and then we kind of started a big green candle to start the day on that first 5-minute candle there. But then later on, a few minutes later, we did see some calls selling off, and the market kind of followed. As you can see that we came down a little bit there. I warned everyone that FOMC was that day, which was yesterday, and that it can be a little bit hairy as time goes on. But nonetheless, we're going to take every post as we go along with it, even though we already knew what happened, right? Okay, so I said great convergence currently with call to put flow neck and neck near zero net premiums. So usually when flow is like this, when flow is really close together, there's green and red line puts and calls. I tend to stay out, and that kind of coincides very well with great convergence. Great convergence usually means it does the opposite. Price action does the opposite of what flow does, but it can be very confusing, especially when you get lots of flips from bearish to bullish or from bullish to bearish on the flow data here with these green and red lines. But then eventually you can see that we did start to see a divergence in calls, call to put ratio here at around 7:07 a.m., which is about 37 minutes after the market opens. Okay, so we saw that call flow divergence start, which is very, very good. even though we did see a lot of flips, if we see continuation of this, that is very bullish. And you can see over here where I notified everyone that we did fill the gap to the downside almost perfectly with those two arrows there. So this was the gap from overnight. We went back down, retested the gap, and then we wicked right off it and started off with a very good bullish candle there. And then right here, these are the GEX levels. Now the GEX levels are very good targets that I use relative to how market makers hedge their positions. These are very, very powerful levels. So the red ones are the negative levels. Those tend to be the price targets, the price magnet. So price has to push towards the red levels. So more often than not, if you see very, very large red levels, price will end up getting there eventually. Now the bigger the better, and it tends to move while they move quicker. This is your DTE data, so it's very, very quick. So if you see a large move to the downside on a negative level, you can 8 times out of 10 that level will hit if it's super, super negative. So a point of reference there. So I said 465 is the resistance I have for GEX, which is this very big green bar here. 465 positive levels tend to reject price or pin price. So I use those as support and resistance levels for the most part if we do get to those levels. Not really price targets, but more good entry points for positions and whatnot. And you'll kind of see what I mean as we go on, okay? So right here I say flow is pushing back up, very bullish. You can see the divergence that we saw in call flow. And then we had that green convergence bar flip, right? Right here, pretty much right when we broke above the EMAs. You can see over here on my actual chart, you can see that exact point of time when we did push a little bit higher. We got a good couple candles here, and that was right here. And we did have green convergence a little bit before this large green candle here on SPY. So that pretty much told you that we were going to head back up. You could catch a very, very nice bullish trade with that just because the divergence in flow calls were way up. We had green convergence confluence, and that's pretty much what happened here. And you can see that we rejected almost perfectly of that 465 level. You can see that we came up just slightly before we started to head back down, and you can add some confluence with that the levels here. So see how the call flow started to go up quite a bit, and then eventually it started to sell off. You can kind of tell that that was where we were topping out, right? So at the time that I posted this, SPY was at about 465.20, and that was pretty much the top that you see right here before we head back down and tested the lows here. So see how that kind of works out, how well flow dictates price. It's quite literally magic, guys. It's awesome to see that flow, you can get out, you can see, you can get in on the green convergence, you can see call flow going, and then you kind of see that it dies out, and then that would be your exit, right? You always scale out too, that's part of my strategy, but I can get into that in a different video. So let's see. What else can we say here? So this is kind of where we started to head back down. You can see that puts started to go up too as well when that call flow started to go down. So and the confirmation of that downside move would be gray convergence, which is right here. You can see that gray convergence flipped almost halfway down on the downward move here. You can see that it flipped about 15 to 20 minutes before I posted this. So this red candle would be obsolete. It would be somewhere up here. A little bit closer to that 465 level when we broke it. So that would be a good short entry there on this gray convergence. Let's see here. What else can we talk about? Okay, so this one's very good. So bearish flow with red convergence targeting 464 with the negative GEX level down here. So what I'm looking at is that move of that 464 level. You can see that that 464 GEX line started to go down. So that would be a price target to the downside since we are above that level, right? So once you see these quick moves like that, you can kind of guide your trades in that aspect, and you can see what happened here. So this was before this big huge FOMC candle. You can see that we had that downward turn and we almost hit 464. This is 464 down here, but it was within 10 cents, 11 cents or so. So, I mean, I'll give it to Gex there. It got very, very close to that downside target before we had that FOMC massive rally. And what's cool about the FOMC rally is kind of why I made this video, because I didn't have time to do a recap video from yesterday, is how call flow it skyrocketed right before the FOMC meeting happened. So about 5 to 10 minutes before the FOMC meeting happened, you could see that call flow immediately skyrocketed and crossed above puts there. And you can see that we had a slight little uptick of calls here, broke above EMAs, and that was confirmation that the FOMC meeting was going to be super, super bullish. But yeah, I'm going to scroll out and you can see how high we went yesterday. So that's just a little confirmation of how I use flow data in my trading. This data does move pretty quick, so you have to be on your toes, and my strategy is a little bit different than most people, so just remember that, okay? I do a little funny cat gif there. I don't think I posted much during FOMC because we were straight up, as you can tell. We just went straight to the moon. But other than that, I did make a post here. You can see that call flow kept going up and up and up during that, and then you had green convergence, which was about 5 to 10 minutes after, maybe about 5 minutes or so after the report was done. So this big green candle, we got green conversions about there, and you could have caught it all the way back up to that 470 level or so. So about a $3 to $4 move to the upside of SPY you caught if you got in on that green convergence there, with very, very good bullish flow there. Okay. Yeah, I'm just reiterating that I can't believe that call flow was at 70 million on that day. But yeah, Flow did a phenomenal job yesterday. It caught that move even before the FOMC report came out. So just to front run a couple people you could have gotten in like right away. I know a couple people made a crap ton using Flow, upwards of $10,000 to $15,000 just on that move, which is insane to me. But yeah, let's move on to today. So if you guys do have any questions about the data from yesterday and FOMC, please feel free to leave a comment down below. But I do want to move on just so I don't make this video too long. But I do want to go over how well it worked today as well. So just like yesterday, we did start off very, very bullish in call flow. And it did fake me out just a little bit because we did have green convergence almost immediately at market. But it did end up being pretty choppy in the morning up until we filled the gap to the downside, and then we had the move up. So it can get a little bit hairy sometimes, but nonetheless, convergence did very well at keeping you out of bad trades and in good ones. So let's take a look at how well it did there. So here it got a little bit, this is what I mean why I got a little bit hairy. So on this green convergence play, it was about 15 minutes after the market. We were very, very bullish. We did head up slightly, but then we got shot back down. And this is where the chop kind of ensued, and where it was a little bit difficult in the morning, but it definitely ironed itself out later on in the day. And I'll show you how that worked out, okay? So in this aspect, we did break the lows, and we did end up filling the gap, as you can see here. We did end up filling the gap to the downside about halfway through the day. But yeah, we did hit off of a pre-market level, and then we did head back up, and we double topped, and then we filled the gap. That's kind of where it was a little bit iffy. For the most part, we do see if we do gap up overnight, we do fill the gap almost immediately, and then we can catch a bounce off that level in the morning. But in this case, we only went down slightly halfway, and then we came back up and then bounced off high and then filled the gap. And that's kind of where it confused me a little bit, but that's okay. Let's take a look at how convergence did in that aspect. So you can see that great convergence was here, and that caught a very nice move to the downside below 472 to about, that was the next to reversal area around this level on the chart. So let's see, I don't know, I can't remember if it did flip green once we did head back up to double top. Let me see here. I think it might have. Yeah, right here. So here's where we kind of reversed here and head back up to hit the double top and then fill the gap. So it was about here when we saw the break of EMAs would be a good confirmation that we were heading up more. And then you had the confluence with the green convergence there. And then let's see, when we started to reverse back down, you can tell that puts started to go up and we were approaching that double top, which was around here. You can see that puts started to go up and then green convergence started to go back down a little bit. So let's see when it flipped gray. It was about here. So it did catch it a little bit late. It didn't catch the entire move down, as you can tell here. So it flipped about a minute or two before this big drop here. So it looks like it flipped around the 472 level, and it was a pretty quick drop, as you can tell by these giant red candles. But nonetheless, it did catch the rest of the move down to fill that gap, which was about $1 move regardless, which is a very good move. You can see calls going down and then puts still going up. From this point, this gray convergence, you could have caught that downside move about $1 on the SPY. And then you can see right here, the 470 started to go down, the 470 GEX, which is this blue line, and then it hit almost on the dot here on the chart here. That's this yellow line. We did go a little bit lower because I think we did see 469. Let me check. There was 469, but I don't think I see it there. We almost did hit 469 too, but I do remember it was super negative as well. I just did not post it, which kind of sucks. But it looks like it did break below this 470 and head back down, and then we reversed off like 469.30-ish or so. But I do remember quite vividly that 469 level was also negative, and we almost got to that target. But in other words, GEX, it started to go negative, 472 on that reversal. And that was our upside target on the reversal back up. So this was kind of about where it started, about at 471 or so. You can see that 472 going super negative. And then eventually right at close is when we eventually hit that level, which is, it's awesome how well it worked. So this is my post here. You can see 472 started to go down. It did eventually go back up, but that was after the fact that that 472 level hit almost on the nose right at market close. So yeah, guys, that's a little recap of what I do on the daily. I kind of analyze the data and put it into my own words in the group here. It's been amazing, guys. The past few weeks, data has absolutely slapped, and it's going to continue on. I mean, I've been doing this for a year or two exclusively with data like that, and it's been almost on the news every time. There are some bad days every now and again, but more often than not, it is one of my all-time favorite tools that I use every single day. And everyone who talks to me definitely knows that I love GEX and Market Net Flow and Convergence. So yeah, guys, that was the last couple days. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for sticking around with me. I definitely appreciate you guys sticking around and watching these videos. It takes me a little bit to kind of set them up and everything. But yeah, for the most part, I kind of just nonchalantly get on here and talk about these things with you. But I love doing it, and I hope you guys stick around with me. But yeah, again, don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to me, and then if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on any social media platform, Discord, and Twitter, or on here. But with that, I will see y'all in the next one.